You know, as much as I would love to play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on the Nintendo Switch, it makes me wonder if the Zelda game is coming to Nintendo Switch anyways, why not bring The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker 2? In any case, I'm still holding on to hope for that game coming to the Nintendo Switch, but I guess Skyward Sword would be great too. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we cover the latest gaming news, leaks, and rumors from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in 2020 and beyond. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, make sure you click that red subscribe button below this video and that notification bell so you know when I upload. In this video, we're going to talk about two recent Nintendo stories that broke out over the past couple of days that include Metroid Prime 4 and a classic Zelda game that could possibly, and I want to stress possibly, come to the Nintendo Switch. And as always, I'll try to speculate on when we could see these games revealed and try to figure out Nintendo's plan here, which admittedly is a mid-or-hiss situation. So I think a lot of us are kind of fed up with the informationless barren landscape that Nintendo has created for us this past year. I think we've all been thinking, what is Nintendo doing? What games are coming? Or to be exact, what release dates are coming for these Nintendo Switch games? I mean, just to throw a couple things out there on the unknown dates or the future of Nintendo Switch games, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, No More Heroes 3, Metroid Prime 4, and of course other Nintendo Switch games. Nintendo Switch games that you would think would have had a release date or release date window and not just a year or just a to be announced. And that doesn't even cover the much anticipated, hope to be true Super Mario 35th Anniversary games that I really hope are true. I mean, I've never finished Mario Sunshine, I've never played any Mario Galaxy games, and a remaster or HD remake of Super Mario 64 would pull me away from any game that I'd be playing currently. So let's hope they're true. Now, we have gotten some Nintendo Switch announcements. It's not completely barren. There's a couple sprouts of grass in that barren wasteland that Nintendo has created for us. And those couple grasses may give us some insight as to when we could see the Zelda game, or to be more accurate, how we can see the game. But let's talk about the news first, and then we can get to that part. So for those who have not heard yet, Amazon UK has posted a listing for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, the price is steeper than usual at about $70 in euros, which converts to about $83 in US dollars. Now, $80 is probably what the price would be if this did go live and they did go with this price. Now, of course, games usually cost $60 or $40 sometimes, so this is probably some sort of bundle or a placeholder or some kind of price that isn't going to be the final price. Now, at the time of writing this script, which was actually yesterday, I'm actually recording it the next day, it was still up, but I refreshed it this morning and it's not there anymore. So what are the odds of this being true and not some kind of mistake? Well, I mean, we have had this happen before, loads of times in fact. So I'd say this is a pretty good indicator that we could see some sort of Skyward Sword remaster or HD remake or something along those lines, like the recent Pikmin 3 Deluxe. But where could we see this announcement, you're probably asking yourself? Well, at the next Nintendo Direct, of course. Now, some sort of event was leaked by Jeff Grubb recently, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. The leak was not for a Nintendo Direct though, it was for some kind of Nintendo event, a wild card as it's being described in Jeff Grubb's tweet. That being said, King Zhao, one of the more popular Nintendo leakers, has leaked out an August 2020 Nintendo Direct in a smaller event that could be happening. Now, so far, King Zhao has been really reliable when it comes to Nintendo leaks, and his leak did come before Jeff Grubb's tweet. It would be a little suspicious if it came after Jeff Grubb's tweet, because he could have just looked at that and said, oh yeah, there's going to be 2 Nintendo Directs this month. Now, Jeff Grubb's tweet did say that the Nintendo event will happen between the 11th and the 21st, because other things were placed after and before that event, which were on the 11th and the 21st. Now, one theory thrown out there is that the Pikmin 3 Deluxe was the smaller event, and the bigger event could be a much bigger Direct. And it's my hope that they want to set up Holiday 2020 with this big Nintendo Direct, if it is a big Nintendo Direct. Nintendo usually has some big games during the holiday season, and what better way to set up holiday season than a huge Nintendo Direct. Now, Pikmin 3 Deluxe is coming out on October 30th, so that's probably going to be one of their holiday games, but there is another game that could be coming out this holiday too, and that's Bravely Default 2, which is a 2020 game, and there's no way that anyone with the right mind would not release it before Christmas, because in January we step in 2021. Unless they're going to be delaying Bravely Default 2, I can see it being released before and revealed the same way Pikmin 3 Deluxe was. Now, next week is last week, so we could see some sort of announcement for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword for the Nintendo Switch at this August 2020 Nintendo Direct. Now, I want to make this clear, very clear, we could potentially see it. Remember, none of this is facts, it's all rumor, speculation, and leaks, so don't get too excited. But that being said, what about Metroid Prime 4? That game has pretty much fallen fallen off the radar pretty quick. It's been about, what, 3 years since the first tease, right? Those were some good days when we could actually go places we wanted and, you know, we knew what Nintendo Switch games were coming and we had plenty of Nintendo Directs. I kinda miss those days. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. If you haven't heard yet, there's been a small development into the whole Metroid Prime 4 situation. According to Screen Rant, the last information that we got about Metroid Prime 4 was the hiring of designer behind Halo Spartans, which that's pretty cool actually, but it looks like they're hiring another hiree. Is that even a word? I'm not even sure if that's a word. But anyways, Metroid Prime 4 is hiring for a lead producer. Now, keep in mind they did restart development in 2019, 1 year ago, so this is not going to be a 2020 game, and in my opinion, it's probably not going to be a 2021 game either. I think that the fact that they're looking for a lead producer now means that they're still a good ways away of finishing the game. Now, this probably does mean that the next trailer that we get for Metroid Prime 4 is probably not going to be a gameplay trailer. It's probably going to be more in line with Breath of the Wild 2. A story trailer, if you will, for Metroid Prime 4. So what does Metroid Prime 4 and Nintendo looking for a new lead producer mean for the game and for its release date and just the overall situation around Metroid Prime 4? Well, like I said before, Metroid Prime 4 is still a pretty far off title most likely, but the positive side of this is that I would think if you need a lead producer for the games, it's probably out of the planning phase where you think of the concept stories and other things like that, which includes character design, which previously they did get a character designer who worked on the Halo Spartans, so it makes a lot of sense. They're probably now getting into more of the nitty-gritty parts and they need someone to lead them on the project. And that's why this makes me think that we'll probably get a CGI trailer or a story trailer because they already got the world, the concept, the story, and the ideas. They can now make a CGI trailer and they're going on to focusing on gameplay. So most likely we'll probably get a trailer, a gameplay trailer, not just a story trailer, somewhere down the line later in 2021 and not in 2020. Unless they want to wait until the E3 time of next year, if there's going to be any E3, we don't even know the future of E3, and just hold their own presentation and have it centered around Metroid Prime 4. Now, I'm no developer and that's just off of my own guesses, but I do hope they are starting to make some headway in development of Metroid Prime 4, and maybe we can see it slated for 2021 or early 2022, release for Metroid Prime 4 on the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure we'll definitely probably get a trailer at the next Nintendo Direct for Metroid Prime 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just play or CGI trailer like I said before. It'll probably hint at story and character development, or maybe a new character, or just what's going on in the story. Kinda like we had with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which I'd be okay with as long as we know that it's being worked on and it has some headway. Because honestly, I think it's about time we see something from Metroid Prime 4, even if it's just a story trailer. Now, Breath of the Wild 2, on the other hand, we definitely need some gameplay from that game at the next full Nintendo Direct, whenever that is. Here's to hoping for that August Nintendo Direct. Oh, and by the way, I do have a Patreon too, so if you want to support me through that platform other than spending your time watching this video, which thank you by the way, I mean you chose my channel, my small channel, over others, so thank you. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment. Also, my Twitter will also be there too if you want to follow me on Twitter. You can just ignore the description part that says on the screen, I still have to make a new one. So what do you guys think about the two stories on Metroid Prime 4 and Skyward Sword potentially, again I said potentially, coming to the Nintendo Switch? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Robo Gaming for more gaming news. Thanks for watching guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.